In this video, we sat down with Pamela Merritt from Reproaction and Candace Bond-Theriault from the National LGBTQ Task Force to discuss how the regulation of abortion care is related to systematic oppression.
I live in Missouri. Abortion is a right in name only in Arkansas, in Kansas, in parts of Oklahoma, in the South. And we have one abortion provider, but there's no way that people are not managing their abortions at home. And a lot of people are going to manage it to trigger a miscarriage. That's no different than what happened pre-Roe. The goal is to get into the hospital and terminate a pregnancy. And that is what the pro-life movement has brought to be. And the issue, what we're debating is how do we criminalize it? And I think what we're seeing is that there are states that are going to criminalize it as manslaughter or first-degree murder and put women in jail or subject to the death penalty. As an RJ activist, I look at that through the lens of hyper-criminalization of communities of color, of defaulting to long-acting reversible contraception. And I also make sure to tell people that this is the foundation of white supremacy, that what we're looking at right now is that white supremacy, or nativism as it is sometimes called, requires white birth and requires the systematic regulation of others and how they give birth and whether they give birth. And if they give birth, is that to create an underclass that can be forced into cheap or slave labor. So what we're seeing in this country is mass incarceration, pushing back at living wages, the closing of borders and the dehumanization or attempted dehumanization of immigrants, and white women being incentivized or forced into situations where they cannot regulate or prevent pregnancy. That is absolutely white supremacy at work.
Stigma exists in all aspects of life for anyone that's not heteronormative, white, cisgender, a landowning man, whatever. People brought it here, right? It was not always here, but white folks brought it. Brought this colonial, paternalistic, puritanical view of humanity and what people are and who people are, and categorizing people into these really random, unnecessary categories as a way to control, right? It's a complete decolonization process that we have to go back to before, but you can't go back to before. So you have to think about how you can transform the future and to eradicate the colonizing of our minds and our bodies and, our spirits here in this world, on this stolen land.